Good afternoon, everyone. This is the City of Port St. Lucie City Council meeting this Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 1 o'clock p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Martin?
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Bana?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Carvalho?
Here, ma'am.
And let the record reflect that Councilman Pickett is not present.
Thank you. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Almighty God in heaven, we ask thy blessings upon those gathered here this afternoon and upon all the citizens of Port St. Lucie. Look with favor on our leaders and give them the insights, the wisdom, and the patience to deal with the problems and tasks coming before them. Please bless their work and their deliberations. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a couple of proclamations today. The first proclamation is for Port St. Lucie's 65th anniversary. Whereas the City of Port St. Lucie was incorporated on April 27, 1961, and proudly celebrates its 65th anniversary on April 27, 2026. And whereas at the time of incorporation, the city encompassed approximately 62 square miles and was home to fewer than a dozen permanent residents. And whereas from its early beginnings as a small bedroom community, Port St. Lucie has grown into the 6th largest city in Florida by population and the 3rd largest by land area, now spanning more than 121 square miles and serving more than 260,000 residents. And whereas Port St. Lucie has earned national and statewide recognition as an all-America city and as the safest large city in Florida, reflecting on the strength, resilience, and unity of our community. And whereas the city continues to invest in public safety, infrastructure, environmental stewardship, economic opportunity, and quality of life amenities that support responsible growth and a strong future. And whereas this progress has been made possible by generations of residents, businesses, community leaders, and city employees who have worked together to shape Port St. Lucie into what we now proudly call the heart of the Treasure Coast. Now, therefore, I, Shannon M. Martin, Mayor of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, do hereby proclaim April 27, 2026 to be observed as Port St. Lucie's 65th anniversary. This milestone anniversary offers an opportunity to celebrate our history, honor those who helped build our city, and look forward with optimism to the future. So please join us on Saturday, April 25th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Port District. Enjoy the Motowners Band, children's activities, and cake. Everyone is welcome at this free celebration. Nan? Our next proclamation is for Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Shannon Martin, Mayor of the City of Port St. Lucie, do hereby proclaim that April 24th, 2026 be observed as Arbor Day. Jen, are you here? And now we have a special presentation, a donation of a bronze plaque by the St. Lucie River chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor,
afternoon.
City Council, Mr. Moreo, Brad Keene, Parks and Recreation Director. It is indeed my honor to introduce Ms. Rochella Reardon of the local chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution to make this very special presentation to City Council. Ms.
Thank you.
Reardon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mayor Martin, members of the City Council, honored guests, and fellow members of St. Lucie River Chapter's Daughters of the American Revolution. We are gathered here today to fulfill one of the most sacred duties of our society, to preserve our history and honor the patriots who made American independence possible. The Daughters of the American Revolution is dedicated to ensure that the quiet contributions, service, and sacrifices of our ancestors are not forgotten. Today, St. Lucie River Chapter is proud to donate their marker for the country's 250th anniversary, which commemorates the men and women whose vision and determination to shape the American Revolution and their vital roles in it. This marker serves as a lasting tribute and reminder of courage, commitment, and sacrifice required for freedom. By highlighting these often unsung heroes, we educate our community and inspire patriotism in generations to come. We believe this marker will stand as a source of pride for our city, reminding us all of the foundation of our freedoms. I would like to extend a special thank you to the City of Port St. Lucie for their partnership in supporting and placing this marker here at City Hall. It is a fitting place to honor the past. I would also like to thank Brad King for his support and help in making this possible. On behalf of the St. Lucie River Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, I officially present the marker to the City of Port St. Lucie to be held in trust for all its residents. May it stand for many years as a beacon of our shared history. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to come down. Just want to say thank you so very much. We are honored to receive it and very honored to place it at City Hall. Thank you. We'll come down for a photo. Can we get the members to come down as well?
I know, how are you? Nice to see you, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think this way would be better. We can get some more people on this side. We're just getting a lot of photos. Yeah, she's blocking her. All right, right here, and 3, 2, 1. Do one more with the flash. And, oh, maybe not. All right, anyways, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're on to public to be heard. This is your opportunity to speak to the council for up to 3 minutes on any non-agenda related item. I do not have anyone who signed up a card to speak, but would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close public to be heard. Moving on to additions and deletions to the agenda and approval of the agenda. Council?
Move approval of the agenda.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to second reading of ordinances. 8A, ordinance 26-24.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, amending Chapter 153 definitions by adding a definition of certified recovery residence and Section 158.233 reasonable accommodation procedures, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8B, ordinance 26-25.
An ordinance amending Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 158 Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Port St. Lucie by amending Section 158.100 to add enclosed assembly area as a special exception use in the open space recreational zoning district, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-25.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8C, ordinance 26-26.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 27, Block 2966, Port St. Lucie, Section 43, according to the plat thereof as recorded in Plat Book 16, pages 15, 15A through 15L of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8D, ordinance 26-27.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan of the City of Port St. Lucie to provide a small-scale amendment to the future land use map to change the future land use designation for approximately 8.03 acres from residential golf course to general commercial for a parcel of land legally described as parcels 1, 2, 3, and 4, Central Park Commercial Plat, as recorded in Plat Book 135, pages 39 through 41, inclusive of the public records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-27.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to first reading of ordinances, 10A, ordinance 26-28.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $75 million in aggregate principal amount of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, special obligation refunding revenue bonds, Series 2026, to refund a portion of the city's outstanding special assessment refunding bonds, Series 2016, and a portion of the city's outstanding taxable special obligation refunding revenue bonds, Series 2017, in order to achieve debt service savings and to provide funding for the Torino Regional Park project, providing for a covenant to budget and appropriate legally available non-ad valorem revenues to pay the principal of redemption premium, if any, and interest on the bonds, providing for certain rights of the holders of such bonds, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10B, ordinance 26-30.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting lots 19, 20, 21, and 22, Block 1463, Port St. Lucie, Section 15, as recorded in Plat Book 13, pages 6, 6A through 6E of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-30.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10C, ordinance 26-31.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the city manager to enter into a third amendment to the site lease agreement between the City of Port St. Lucie and Crown Castle South LLC for continued use of an existing telecommunication tower located at 480/TW Southwest Thornhill Drive, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-31.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10D, ordinance 26-32.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the mayor or her designee or the city manager or his designee to enter into and execute the First Amendment to the lease agreement for a portion of real property located at 2454 Southeast Westmoreland Boulevard with P3 Investments LLC, a Florida limited liability company, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Davis.
Hi, good afternoon. Jennifer Davis with the CRA. This afternoon, we're bringing forward to you the First Amendment to the lease agreement with P3 regarding the restaurant development, the River Food Garden area over in the Port District. The site is located just south of PSL Boulevard within the Pioneer Park site. I'm going to go through a few of the terms of the agreement since it has been a minute since we've been before you with this. So the agreement is for the lessee, P3 Investments, to develop a multi-venue food garden concept consisting of one or more structures comprising of up to 15,000 square feet. The benefit to the city will be achieving a few of the city's strategic goals with culture, nature, and recreation, as well as diverse economy and employment opportunities. There is no cost to the city associated with the lease agreement itself, and the lessor will be receiving revenue from the project. So the ordinance that approved this back in 2023 identified a 30-year term for the agreement with 4 or 5-year renewal options, base rent of $40,000 annually, paid with a 3%, $40,000 annually paid monthly with a 3% escalation, in addition to percentage rent, and the lessee would be responsible for paying property taxes and assessments associated with the leased parcel. The modified terms that are before you today does modify approximately 11 sections within the definitions, and those are identified in your agenda item backup. In addition, the temporary facilities was clarified. So as this project was developed through the site plan process, it did come before a site plan amendment, which identified a phased approach. So as such, we did need to modify some language in the lease agreement. In addition, there was some clarification about a due diligence period with an existing ground lease that has since been terminated. Again, most of the other clarifications within the First Amendment have to do with the clarification of Phase 1 versus Phase 2. And then finally, the Exhibit B is related to the lift station. So when this project was designed and the lift station was designed, it was based on the park and the original elements that were presented. And at that point, we had about a 6,000 square foot restaurant identified, so everything was sized appropriately. Since the park opened in 2024, we have observed the use for the lift station We recognize that in order to transfer this site over to the lessee for their development, we need to make sure that it has sufficient capacity. So we have made observations and done studies to see what that number would be. So the city will be adjusting the lift station to a 550-seat capacity. Anything beyond that would be the lessee's responsibility in the future should they want to expand their restaurant service. So with that, staff is recommending City Council approve ordinance 26-32 for the First Amendment to the lease agreement.
Thank you. Any questions, council?
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
I just would like to make a comment and ask the last question. So I just want to thank the city manager and the team for making that happen, because I know that that was a challenge, and we couldn't foresee the lift station having that much usage the way that it did, which is great because it means the park is being supported, people are coming, and the restaurant also is going to help bring others to the area. With that, since, I don't know, Madam Mayor, if it's okay with you, I do see our leasee out in the audience. Could he provide us a quick update while he's here, just to kind of tell us the current progress and what the expectation timeline is?
That'd be great.
Thank you.
So we'll welcome up Gaurav Bhatani with P3. He also has Cole here from Jacqueline and Sons for the construction.
Okay. Awesome. Good afternoon, Mr. Batani.
Good afternoon, council members, city manager. Nice to see you. Nice to be back here. So we're finally here. We're starting with construction. I do want to reiterate that when we first started this project, we had a grand vision, and despite all the challenges, we've stuck to the vision. And yes, it's taken time, but it's taken time just because of the process of getting our permits, and then of course after the permits, it's just a process with the financing and the banks, and we always took like I said, we always, despite the budget increases, we stuck to our vision, and we're all very excited about it. So, and it may seem, I speak to Jennifer and Frank and Russ, and we're in constant conversation, it may seem that it's taking more time, but, we're not the typical real estate development company that was build the building and then start leasing it out to restaurants, and then that's its own process. When we're going all the way to opening the restaurants. So everything is, we've got everything that we started off with the plans, we are on it. We have a great national operator. We have great design, architecture, and everything is in place and moving forward. So I'm looking forward to starting, and thank you for your help, Vice Mayor and City Manager, and there's certain issues that we have to keep dealing with in making this thing into a success and getting, just having all the financing in place. So there were issues related to the lift station. We don't want to be in a situation where, with all these great plans, we have to be limiting our, we have these big plans, but then we limit ourselves because of a lift station. So I'm glad it's all been sorted out.
So now that construction's starting, Gaurav, just a question, because everyone's been asking me this. When can we anticipate completed construction?
So we have Jacqueline and Sons. I let him talk, but our construction completion date when they hand over the thing to us is May of next year.
Okay.
And then we have 3 or 4 months of pre-operations with Atlas, making sure all these, because there were several kitchens, several bars, several things. It's like, operating starting up a kind of a massive ship in a way, if you think about it. But
So would it be safe to say fall 2027?
yeah, and we don't want to start in the summer. Atlas has told us they don't want to start in the middle of the summer when it's just like, the weather isn't conducive to a nice opening. So we'll figure out a nice date when we are ready to open, and we'll do a pre-launch. And, we've started with this, the lease amendment. We now have some provisions for temporary structures. I don't know how it's going to be possible. We're still working on the mechanics with, their construction team. We don't want to put an obstacle in the construction team by having some temporary kind of operations. We don't know, but we have the provision for it. And even if once we do start commercial operations, it's a nice big park, and we want to make this into our aim is to make this, now that we switch from real estate development to making it a culture of food and festivities and entertainment. We do want to have, you walk into a park and you have always something to drink and eat everywhere without trudging too many places.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you, guys.
This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-32.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. We are all looking very much forward to having the restaurants in place. Thank
Fall
you.
2027, here we come. On the river.
Especially that Italian disco.
I know where to find you on the property, that's for sure,
That's
Councilman
right.
Bono.
I just need the food. So,
Well, there's a nice big overwater stage out there, so plenty of room for dancing.
That's exactly right.
We'll get
yeah.
you out there, Councilman Bonner. Okay, moving on to 10E, ordinance 26-33.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 6, Block 2878, Port St. Lucie, Section 40, according to the plat thereof as recorded in Plat Book 15, pages 34, 34A through 34Y of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
motion to approve ordinance 26-33.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10F, ordinance 26-34.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 22, Block 2036, Port St. Lucie, Section 22, according to the plat thereof, recorded in Plat Book 13, pages 28, 28A through 28G of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-34.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10G, ordinance 26-35.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 3, Block 1828, Port St. Lucie, Section 35, according to the plat thereof, recorded in Plat Book 15, pages 10, 10A through 10P of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to resolutions. 11A, Resolution 26-R26.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the city manager to enter into a highway maintenance memorandum of agreement between the State of Florida Department of Transportation and the City of Port St. Lucie, designating and setting forth the responsibilities of each party for the necessary improvements on Port St. Lucie Boulevard from south of Becker Road to Parr Drive, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 26-R26.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 11B, Resolution 26-R27.
A resolution of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, approving a limited purpose party membership agreement with the Florida Resiliency and Energy District, authorizing a commercial-only property assessed clean energy program for real property located at 3500 Southeast Morningside Boulevard, Port St. Lucie, Florida, utilizing voluntary non-ad valorem assessments to finance qualifying improvements, authorizing the mayor or designee to execute said agreement, and providing for implementing administrative actions, scrivener's errors, conflicts, severability, and effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 26-R27.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 11C, Resolution 26-R28.
A resolution of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the final acceptance of public roadway improvements for Tom Mackey Boulevard Phase 3, constructed by Miller Construction Company, LLC, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 11D, Resolution 26-R29.
A resolution of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, approving a road improvement, cost advancement, reimbursement agreement relating to Sundance Vista Boulevard and Park Relocation Agreement, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Lamar Sarno.
Good afternoon, Teresa Lamar Sarno, Chief Assistant City Manager. Council, I'm here today. I'm going to give you an overview of the advancement agreement. And to get here today, there were a couple people I wanted to make sure we thanked. Elizabeth Hertz, Bridget Keene, and Mary Savage Dunham with the Planning Department, Diana Spriggs, Colt Schwartz with Public Works, Kevin Matajasic with Utilities, and our partner, Madame Homes. So, this project is, I think, one of the first of its kind. This project supports the city's vision to be a leader in finding innovative solutions that put the residents first and support opportunities for all people to thrive. That is our vision as stated in the strategic plan. This agreement is solution-oriented, and it speaks to the city's strategic plan priorities of high-quality infrastructure, planning roadways, improving traffic flow, expanded transportation network, and transportation options. It also continues the strategic initiative of strengthening public safety by completing another north-south segment that will result in improved roadway connectivity for our first responders. So I think the key part of this is connection. You know, we've heard from our residents, from you, council. Staff took your mission and vision of making sure that our road network is completed, and we have this agreement in front of you that is will connect Sundance Vista Boulevard from Crosstown Parkway to Discovery, and it will be advanced by 11 years. And it results in the completion of the roadway. And what you see in this map, you see some of the dates that were allocated within the DRI agreement. However, the commitment that we have today, if this agreement gets executed, is for Madame to have this segment open to the public by December 31st, 2027. Some of the terms within the agreement are the high-level terms, and we're happy to answer any questions. I know the team is here available to answer any questions you might have. The city will advance up to $20.3 million to Madame as construction progresses. The city is funding this improvement with GFC reimbursement to the general fund. The timeline is 5 years after the roadway is turned over to the city, Madame will reimburse the city with interest. Madame's role is Madame will pay all the professionals, contractors, and vendors directly for the road costs. Madame may then request advance reimbursement to the city, and which each of those requests for payments will have to be signed by an engineer of record before we distribute that payment. Another key component is park relocation. As you know, we're always looking at ways to enhance our parks. And so this agreement relocates Southern Grove Park 3, formerly known as SoGro, to a location further west, south of Becker Road and east of Community Boulevard. This relocation allows park properties to be combined to provide a larger public park facility for the community's enjoyment and benefit that will create a much larger space next to ACR and other developers that will be conveying property to us for a park. The city will not advance road construction funds to Mattamy until the relocation of the park has occurred, or conveyed, excuse me. The staff recommendation is to move that the council approve the road improvement, cost advancement, reimbursement, and park relocation agreement.
Thank you. Council, questions?
I just wanted to make a comment. I'm sure others are going to have comments. I think, first of all, I wanted to thank the staff, wanted to thank Mattamy. The first time this was brought forward, there was a lot of challenges with this particular request. And I'm so glad that we came, forward to minimize the residential impact to virtually essentially nothing. And that we're actually dealing with all of the impacts and concerns of the roadways that I know that we also had what we expressed that day. And so thanks to Steve Garrett, to Mattamy, and of course our amazing team that worked on this so diligently to bring this agreement forward. So thank you.
Yes.
So I echo that, and I know that this was so very, very important to do that connection because of not just the school that is going to be located there, but the fire station. To have that connection to Discovery is going to make a world of difference. And that's the whole key, is to be able to connect. So thank you.
Councilman Bonner, do you have anything?
Yeah, just, echo the comments of my colleagues. I just want to thank you for being good partners and helping to move things forward for our residents.
Yeah, I think it's important to reiterate that if we did not move forward with this in this manner, that road would not have gotten connected for another 11 years. And so knowing the growth that we are having out west and needing that north-south connection, it is so important. And now our fire district can move forward with the plan for the fire station out there. And we know with so much growth that that's exactly where it's going to be needed. And so this road connectivity is vitally important for our first responders. So I'm very grateful for the team, and I'm grateful for everyone who was part of this to move this forward, and also that the funding is coming from the Governmental Finance Corporation.
Madam Mayor, also, I
Yes.
think I would like to add, really, it's something that council has an open mind to be able to fund these type of road improvements, really. So thank you for giving us the ability and the tools to be able to make this happen. So really, from staff's point of view, we're way ahead of schedule when this should have been built. But really, this is a result of a city council that steps out there and makes a commitment to the residents to be able to make things happen. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 25-R12.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Wait, did you just say R12?
Oh, wait, sorry. I don't,
Did you say
It's R29.
no, it says, okay, so wait. Okay,
Yeah.
just so you guys know, and I'm reading right
That's the
from the
next
agenda.
one.
But that's the
Okay,
next
yes,
one.
sorry. I
That's
was
the
like,
next one.
I was
All
like,
right,
sorry.
so just wanted to make sure.
Thank you, R2629.
Yes. Okay. 11E, Resolution 25-R12.
A resolution of the City Council of Port St. Lucie, Florida, amending and restating the development order for the Tradition Development of Regional Impact approved by Resolution 03-R67 on September 22nd, 2003, amended by Resolution 03-R84 on November 6, 2003, amended by Resolution 06-R11 on January 23rd, 2006, amended by Resolution 07-R61 on July 23rd, 2007, amended by Resolution 08-R82 on August 25th, 2008, amended by Resolution 10-R59 on August 23rd, 2010, Amended by Resolution 16-R25 on April 25th, 2016, making findings of fact and determining conclusions of law pertaining to the tradition development of regional impact and constituting this resolution as a development order by the City of Port St. Lucie in compliance with law and providing an effective date and a termination date.
Thank you. This item is quasi judicial. So anyone who's going to provide testimony needs to be sworn in by the clerk. So if you're going to provide testimony, please stand and raise your right hand. Thank you. Council, any ex parte communications to disclose?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to disclose that I met with the applicant, but then in addition to that, my comments for Resolution R26, R29 be included in the record for this item as they are, as my comments were going for both items essentially. I just want to make sure that's clear. Thank you.
I met with the applicant and staff as well.
I did as well. Councilwoman Morgan, do you have any ex parte?
I'm trying to recall because I know that I did not meet directly with the applicant, but I did have conversations with, yes, I did.
Okay.
He's shaking his head, yes. So I did meet with Steve, Steve Garrett, so that's on the record.
Bridget, before you get started, I just want to make a clarifying point. We had a few emails in, and there seems to be some confusion between this item and the MPUD amendment. We sent an email back out clarifying this is not the MPUD amendment for the Fairgreen Crosstown item. This is the development order for tradition, development of regional impact. So if anyone's confused about that, that's the clarification. So thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, Ms.
Thank you.
Keene.
Good afternoon, Bridget Keene with the Planning and Zoning Department. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the council. I have been sworn in. The official record did go to the city clerk's office within 5 days of the hearing, and I am requesting that it be entered into the record. So this is the 7th amendment to the Tradition DRI. The applicant is Madame Homes, Steve Garrett with Lucido and Associates, and Autumn Sorrow with AJ Entitlements and Planning. They are representing the Madame as the master developer of the Tradition DRI. And the Tradition is located west of Interstate 95. It's south of the Crosstown Parkway. It's east of North South A, which is now Sundance Vista Boulevard. And it's on the north and south sides of Tradition Parkway. And here's a map that shows the location. And I just want to kind of go through what happened. Just a little reminder, this application did go before the City Council on April 28th, 2025. It was tabled. It was tabled to a date certain in June. And then at the June meeting, the applicant requested it be dated to a date uncertain. Now, there is a difference in this application. They have made some changes. Again, it still does the same things. It does amend the development order entitlements. It does amend certain conditions of approval, and it does update the project phasing, build out and expiration dates, but those are due to the statutory extensions. So the main difference between this application and the application that came before you in April of 2025 is at the time for the April application in 2025, they were proposing an increase in multifamily units by 979 units, and there was no decrease in single-family units. Now, I just want to point out that the Tradition DRI, it is approved for a total of 6,161 units. It's divided by into 4,990 units for single-family use and 1,171 units for multifamily use. So what's happening with this application, they're not adding any additional residential. They're just taking the 264 units that are available under that single-family classification, and they're moving it to the multifamily designation. So there'll be no increase in residential units. Single-family will decrease to 4,726 units, and multifamily will increase to 1,435 units. But again, the total number of units will stay at 6,161 units, so there's no increase in residential development with this application. And this just shows you the changes. They're changing the single family, the 264 units available, and they're putting those into multifamily. They are increasing the number of assisted living units by 110 units, but that's just to catch up with what has been previously approved. No changes to hotel rooms. They are increasing commercial. They're putting it up to 1 million square feet, and that is an additional 79,205 units. And they basically, the way they're getting at this, they're decreasing their office entitlements. So they're decreasing office by close to 275,000 square feet, and that will still leave 353,348 square feet for office uses. And warehouse is not changing. The warehouse that's existing in the Tradition DRI is the 2 self-storage facilities that are out there. One's on Southwest Village, one's on Crosstown. So there's no new increase for warehouse in the Tradition DRI. There are some other changes that they are making, and as I mentioned, they have a statutory changes that allow them to increase their phasing, their build-out, and their expiration dates. But we did work with them, the city team did work with them to make some changes to the public facilities, and that's related to reclaimed water for irrigation, as well as a donation, adding a date certain for donation of a utility site. They also made some changes to the transportation conditions, and I will go over those as we go forward. So the revisions to utilities, it does clarify the requirement for irrigation to be provided by a reclaimed water main that's running down North-South A. It goes from Sundance Vista. It goes from Crosstown Parkway to the Tradition Regional Park site. They are adding a new condition to require a reclaimed water agreement, and that will include reserving 1 million gallons per day of capacity, along with line charges and our take-or-pay provisions, and that is to be executed within 90 days of the approval of the 7th Amendment to the Tradition DRI. It also adds a date certain. Now, the DRI has always had a requirement for them to provide the city with a utility site that's not less than 10 acres, but they have actually they've determined the location of the site, working with the utility department, and this just puts a date certain for that to be platted and conveyed to the city. We also have new or revised transportation requirements, and the team is here if you have any questions. Now, the first change is to add a requirement and specifications for the Tradition Parkway and Community Boulevard roundabout to be reconstructed to conform to FDOT, their Florida Design Manual standards, as a 2-lane roundabout, and that's to improve safety and operations, and they want those improvements should be made and open to the public by April 1st, 2028. And again, the intent here is just to modify the existing roundabout to be safest while accommodating the increased traffic, as much as possible out there. This is just a design of a modern roundabout, and we do have the city's third-party traffic consultant, Kakwan Ma from Kittleson and Associates, if you have any questions about the roundabout and a roundabout design. It also adds a condition for a signal warrant analysis to be required for the Tradition Parkway and Community Boulevard roundabout, and that can be at the city's discretion. And the intent here would have to have that with each biennial report if the city determines that one is needed. And now there are new improvements that have been added, and that's to the Fern Lake Drive and West Cliff Lane intersection. And this improvement adds a requirement for Fern Lake Drive to be constructed to I'm off here. So these are improvements to Fern Lake Drive and West Cliff Lane. And this just adds a requirement for Fern Lake Drive to be constructed to West Cliff Lane as a 2-lane road and open to the public prior to the 100th Public Works residential building permit for the Brinley subdivision. Now, this is that missing piece of Fern Lake Drive that will connect it. Once it's constructed, it'll now connect Fern Lake Drive to West Cliff. There's also a missing piece of West Cliff Lane that runs from where the Esplanade Traditions third entrance is to North-South A. That portion of the road has never been platted and it's never been constructed. And this will also set a date for that improvement, and that will be within 6 months of the Sundance Vista Boulevard from Tradition Parkway to Crosstown Parkway being open to the public. So that kind of creates those two missing pieces of the roadways in Tradition. And that does provide, additional access because it'll now connect West Cliff all the way to Southwest Village Parkway. Okay, this is the new requirement that was added to the DRI, and this has to do with the Fairgreen Road and the Crosstown Parkway intersection. And this adds a new requirement and specifications for improvements to be made to this intersection by December 31st, 2027, or within 6 months of the pre-construction meeting for proposed development on the southwest corner of Crosstown Parkway and Southwest Fairgreen Road, whichever comes first. Now, this improvement will add an additional turn lane on Crosstown Parkway. It also extends the turn lanes on Crosstown, and that it includes an additional receiving lane on Southwest Fairgreen Road. And again, the staff is here if you have questions on this improvement or want additional information. And this just shows you where these improvements are. If I can get this to work. Okay. Forget it. Anyway, the red on the top is the Crosstown and Fairgreen. The green is Tradition Boulevard and Community, and then it also shows the missing sections for West Cliff as well as for Fern Lake.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just a question on the Fern Green piece, going back.
Sure.
Because Fern Green is what
Fern Lake.
Fern Lake is not, is these approvals, this improvement, is it contingent upon whatever a future discussion or a future item as far as the improvements, or these improvements are just to make sure that they get completed in a timely manner?
Well, Brindley right now has already been approved, and it is under construction, and I believe we have the plat in for Fern Lake. Right, we have the plat in, so this just says by their 100th Public Works permit, if it's not done and open to the public, they won't get any more permits.
And that's more for residential, nothing to do with any potential other approvals in the
Right,
future.
that's connected to the residential.
And I just want to share that for transparency purposes, because sometimes people can assume that things are happening for the benefit of another item. And then I just wanted to make sure the public is aware and they can see.
Right.
This is coming, regardless of how that discussion happens in the future or what happens, these improvements are solely to ensure that residents have connection and to deal with the residential growth mostly of what's occurred,
Right.
without looking at anything else in the future. So I just wanted to make sure we said that.
Right, and
Thank
to
you.
just add to that, as I said, it connects those missing pieces. There's a missing piece in here, and then, I just did this wrong, hold on a second. And then there's a missing piece over here. So once that north-south A is constructed, you'll have West Cliff that I said will go all the way to Southwest Village, and that will help improve traffic over in Tradition. And then an updated traffic study, it was prepared by McKenzie Engineering and Planning. It was reviewed by the city's third-party traffic consultant, Kittleson and Associates, and approved by the Public Works Department. And the review by Kittleson and Associates found that the proposed development is consistent with the traffic analysis that was submitted, and that it shows the proposed changes to the DRI do not result in an increase of trips compared to the existing DRI totals. And the findings show that the proposed changes in entitlements actually result in a slight decrease in daily AM peak hour and PM peak hour trips. And this was an analyze, changes to DRIs do require that any proposed change to an approved DRI be reviewed based on the standards and procedures in the city's comprehensive plan and land development regulations. This application, it is consistent with policy 1.2.8.1 of the future land use element, which establishes the densities and intensities for Tradition and the Western Grove NCD district. And the proposed changes are consistent with that policy. And that policy also states that the city may increase or decrease the development entitlements as provided in an equivalency matrix that is also adopted into the DRI. And these proposed changes utilize that utility matrix in terms of the formula for the changes, with the decrease in office offsetting the increase in the multifamily uses and commercial uses, and the decrease in single family as well. And the Planning and Zoning Board did recommend approval at the April 1st, 2025 Planning and Zoning Board meeting, and the Planning and Zoning Department staff does find the petition to be consistent with the intent and direction of the city's comprehensive plan, and we do recommend approval. That's the end of my presentation, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Keene? No? Okay. Does the applicant wish to make a presentation? Good afternoon, Mr. Garrett.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members, Mr. Morejo and Mr. Barrios. Steve Garrett with Lucino Associates representing Mattamy Palm Beach LLC. Like to thank Bridget for her thorough presentation. The item, as far as what we're amending, 264 single-family go to 264 multifamily, no increase in residential development, slight uptick in commercial. That's more so to future-proof tradition for the final build-out, as well as maybe redevelopment that may occur, and to have enough bucket of entitlements there. Obviously, all those changes, a slight decrease in traffic. Most importantly, I'm very proud to represent and continue to represent Mattamy Homes. Since 2018, they have truly made a commitment to be a partner with the city. It has been a pleasure to work with staff, with the city manager's office, with Teresa Jesus, and council to move forward and further get the first 2 lanes of an interconnected road network out where it's most needed. Happy to answer any questions, and thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Garrett? No? No. All this connectivity is extremely important, as we just discussed in the previous item, and then with this item, and getting those road parcels connected because of all the growth out in that area. So I'm very happy to see that these roads will be constructed and all that connectivity is actually happening. So with that, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve, sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, motion to approve Resolution 25-R12.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to our city manager's report.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Just want to comment that the Florida League of Cities has recognized 4 individuals on the 2026 Home Rule Award for their hard work and advocacy in the legislative session. And the 4 nominees from the city is number 1, Vice Mayor Jillian Carvalho, number 2, Councilwoman Stephanie Morgan, our Deputy City Manager for Strategic Initiatives, Kate Parmalee, and our Finance Director, Stephen DeCoyne. And this is the statement that they made towards these awards. Is the league said these individuals worked tirelessly throughout the session to promote local voices by sharing insights, local data, real-world examples that help inform the state lawmakers and elevate the voice of Florida cities. And congratulations to these nominees. So well done, and really represented the city really well up in Tallahassee. So really, thank you very much. That's my first announcement. The second one is really, I truly appreciate the North-South A. I mean, that is something that wasn't easy to do. It took a lot of time, but as you can see how the puzzle is coming together very nicely. I know we have a couple pieces left, but there's a lot more work to be done, especially along Community to Becker Road. That's another one that will be coming in the future.
Yep.
North-South A down to Becker Road, also is another one with ACR. But not least, but just imagine, remember when we used to talk about PSL Boulevard all the way down to Becker, that we thought it was like 15, 20 years out, and actually today, you know, that's going to also become a reality. So I really appreciate council for the persistence to make sure that we connect all our roadway system in our not utility, but the overall city and this network that has really has been in the making for probably over 30 years. So truly, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations to Vice Mayor, Councilwoman Morgan, Stephen Okia, and Kate Parmalee for your nominations. Really appreciate all your advocacy and everything you do for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Okay, on March 25th, I did attend the St. Lucie County Fire District push-in ceremony of Squad 17. I learned the difference between a squad and an engine. I thought they were all one and the same, but very enlightening, and congratulations. On April 1st, I attended the Transportation Planning Organization Board meeting. On the 2nd, as you remember, we had our joint meeting. I can't remember how long ago it was, but we were given homework, or I was. I have 2 projects that I'm working on, and one of them was for the St. James beautification. So Jamie and I met, and we wrote it together, and we hit every pothole. Well, Jamie was driving, so she is well aware that it is in dire need of some beautification, as that is one of our major gateways into Port St. Lucie. So we are working on that, and we'll have a report back. I had the distinct honor of attending Paul Trebulzi's retirement. I just had to give a shout out to Paul because I know he is Dana's right-hand man. Well, now he's retired and he can do more. So congratulations on your retirement. On the 8th, I attended the Tourist Development Council, which was very interesting. It was, a lot of stuff was discussed, and also Lucy is the on-site, I don't know if we've had has anybody seen Lucy? The vehicle that comes out and has everything about St. Lucie County that you can go and visit and see, all the attractions. And she is available to come out for special events. So I did mention about our 65th anniversary on the 25th, that maybe they could come out and disperse information to anybody who wants to see that. So if you have an event and you want Lucy to show up, she will show up and tell you all about things to do in St. Lucie County. And there are tons. We had a great presentation from the St. Lucie Cultural Arts Alliance. That's another one that we need to reach out to, and there's a lot of good things coming out of there with the artwork. And I know we had discussed, and I know they do the art over at the Mid-Florida and change it out. So this really encourages and helps our local artists. So it is very, very interesting meeting, and so visit those and go see Lucy. And my announcement is, as you heard earlier, Port St. Lucie is turning 65 this year. Do we get Social Security checks coming in? Just checking. And we're inviting the community to the party. So on Saturday, April 25th, gather with us to celebrate Port St. Lucie's incredible journey from its early beginnings to becoming the 6th largest city in Florida and an all-America city. There's going to be kids' activities, food trucks, storytelling machines, maybe Lucy, music from the Motowners we've already heard, and it takes place 5 to 8 p.m. at the Port District there at 2454 Southeast Westmoreland Boulevard. And it's free. Free. Not the food trucks, but the event. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor? On April 1st, I had the opportunity to attend the one-day conference for the Retail Live, as well as the statewide council on opioid abatement in person. I will say, one of the honors of being on this board is you have the opportunity to learn things that you typically would not learn or be exposed to unless you served on the board. And they brought some individuals in to discuss where opioid crises are, but one thing that struck me that I thought I'd share is there's actual scientific research now that's showing that alcohol, and they're starting with alcohol because that's usually the first gateway drug is what they say, that they believe that alcohol actually changes the DNA of a baby in the womb when a mother drinks. And so they're obviously going to do further studies on how that affects the DNA of different types of drugs, but we knew it affected children, but we never really knew that it would actually change the DNA. And so that was a pretty striking meeting. But on a positive note, on the drive home, we did have the opportunity to see Artemis go up as I was headed home. And what an amazing week we've had as a nation to see such an incredible feat and to travel further as humans that we've ever traveled before. And I can't wait to see the subsequent launches and actually get to, see 2026 technology pictures of the moon. I mean, I know we had the 60s, but, there's going to be some pretty neat information. So I thought that was special. April 7th, I had the opportunity to tour Lactologics in my district.
April 9th was Ben's birthday, but besides that, I got to do leadership class at Mid-Florida Event Center and welcome our new leadership class. Obviously, class 42 is still the best class of all time.
34, right,
But-
Anthony?
34, yeah.
But, you know, it was wonderful. We had our partners over at Port St. Lucie Sports Club that were there to talk about the soccer stadium, as well as Jen and the rest of the team at the Mid-Florida Event Center. Thanks so much for welcoming them. Frank was there too. And we got to share a lot of what's happening in the city. And so my announcement is we are proud to continue the tradition of environmental stewardship and urban beautification by celebrating Arbor Day. Besides a formal proclamation from council, residents are invited to join the annual Arbor Day tree planting at 2 p.m. on the 24th at the intersection of Green River Parkway and Berkshire Boulevard. By the way, District 4 just saying. The city's commitment of urban forestry is further demonstrated by its long-standing recognition as a Tree City USA Award recipient for 21 years, and a Tree Cities of a world winner for 4 straight years. So,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bana?
Thank you, Mayor. So I was enjoyed this year being a young Floridian judge. Again, it's always interesting to and to see some of the great students that we have in the community. This year, I judged the academic excellence category, and you know, as I'm going through these applications and I'm seeing and these interviews and I'm seeing these impressive students, I thank the Lord every day that I applied to Georgetown when I did, because I don't know that I would get in today. These kids are amazing. And I attended an IRSC community update luncheon. They gave an update on the Promise program and the great things that they're doing in the community. I toured Project Lift's location down in Hobe Sound. They do have interest in opening up a Port St. Lucie location at some point, so I've talked with the city manager's office about that to get those conversations rolling. And of course, we, you know, every year we normally enjoy participating in the Easter activities in the community. This year we went to the Easter Bunny Breakfast at the community center, which was phenomenal, and unfortunately missed the egg hunt, which I think has like over 60,000 eggs, but did have an opportunity to go to the White House and participate at the egg hunt there, which was absolutely incredible to see people from all over the country. And if you look at the White House Historical Society Facebook page, they actually have a really neat shot of my family and I doing the Easter egg roll. So it was really neat to see that. As for announcements, I'll do Councilman Pickett's as well. So the first announcement is we want to remind residents that the Office of Solid Waste has increased the weekly quantity of yard waste limit to a maximum of 6 cubic yards curbside through April 24th. This allows each household to place 50% more yard waste curbside than usual. 6 cubic yards is roughly the size of 3 washer and dryer sets placed side by side. There will be no additional cost to residents. For more information, visit cityofpsl.com/solid waste. And then my announcement, led by our police department, the city will host its first ever autism awareness and community resource event from 9 a.m. to noon, Saturday, April 18th. This free event is designed to connect families with essential services and community partners dedicated to individuals on the autism spectrum. More than 30 vendors will be on site. There will be a touch-a-truck display, a canine bloodhound meet and greet, and sensory-friendly art stations and presentations. Our team will also gather insights and host focus groups to better understand the needs of the autism community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I had my mornings with the mayor meeting. I went to the Caring Community Cleanup event this weekend. It was awesome to see so many residents who signed up to clean up our community. I don't know what the numbers are yet in terms of how many pounds of trash were picked up, but interested to hear what that number is this year. So I want to thank all of our citizens and business owners who participated in the Caring Community Cleanup this past weekend. Also went to Vet Fest last weekend. It was a day to celebrate our veterans and to have a community day for all of them. Had some amazing musical events that day, And so it was just a great day to celebrate our vets again. And for my announcement, we had our City Hall field trips back. We had students coming from St. Lucie Public Schools, all of our homeschooling groups coming together this past week. Spoke to many of those students, and they had an immersive experience and look at how our local government operates in their daily lives and how our departments all serve the community. Students interacted with staff from Public Works, Parks and Rec, Utilities, Communications, Police, and also the Office of Solid Waste. So it was, again, great to have our kids be involved in our community and hopefully in the future inspiring them to be future leaders of our city, because that's what it's all about, building our future leaders. So, and that's all I have, Council. If you have nothing else, then we are adjourned. Oh, you have something?
I just did, you jogged my memory about litter, and I forgot to tell the city manager, in his city manager report. Speaking of litter, Crosstown Parkway, the bridge specifically, in the bridge area, I have been seeing an increased amount of litter, and I have seen little crews out there before, but I think we might need to intensify that, including just random car parts on the sides there. And I'm just noticing a lot more than usual, and I think that we just might need to up things a little bit in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're adjourned.